Good afternoon, everyone. It's Christine here. Hopefully you're not getting too much noise, including the dog barking in the distance. I'm doing a bit of al fresco videoing today, sitting out at the outdoor table because it's such a lovely afternoon. Sun is shining, blue skies, just a few clouds. But it seems that every neighbour has wanted to mow their lawn, use their leaf blower, dogs barking, everything going on that could possibly go on. So for today's Thrifty Thursday, I've got a video of a recent visit to the Reverse Art Truck in Narre Warren here in Victoria, Australia. There's also one, I think, in Ringwood. I haven't been there, but it's of the same group that run that. And the idea of the Reverse Art Truck, if you haven't heard me talk about it before, is that they collect up goods from people around Melbourne, generally manufacturers or other producers of items that they no longer need or want, and which then people can collect and use for either school craft activities, community craft activities, but also other individual private people like me can go there and get goodies as well. And they're a great source of goodies for slow stitch and for junk journaling and for a range of crafts. So today I've got some really exciting things to share with you, and what I'm going to be showing you today was the grand total of $10. So you can go in, you can fill up a garbage bag, or you can just take a little shopping sort of size bag. That's what I took today and filled that up, and that was $10. They just have a look at what you've got when you're going out, and they price it based on that. I think if you fill up one of those gigantic garbage bags, I think that might be $30, although they might even have a reduced rate. I think if you buy a sort of a subscription for 10 garbage bags. I tend to just go and get smaller quantities because I'd probably get in too much trouble if I was filling up a garbage bag. Now I'm having a nice sip of some nice tea from Puka, some nighttime berry, even though it's not nighttime. I was just feeling like my throat was sort of got some dust in it, I think, probably from some of the goodies. So I'm just going to have a sip of that. Hopefully you're joining me with a nice warm drink or a nice cool drink, depending where you are in the climate. So, as I mentioned, $10 for the entire amount that I'm about to show you. So we'll start out with this little jar of buttons, and it's got some ribbons on top. I'm thinking these might be even thin enough to use for some ribbon embroidery, and I'll tip the buttons out, see if we can have a look together. So there's metal buttons in here, but also the metal look ones that are actually plastic as well, and there's little cute bow shapes. Love the detailing on these little ones. I'm using a different angle on my camera as well today, so hopefully it's not hopefully I don't go out of zone too much, and I've got very dry hands. I should have put some moisturizer on. So I'll put those buttons back. And so buttons are in a section where they ask you to just sort of take a handful's worth, really, or thereabouts, like the quantity of this sort of small jar here. The small jar is also from there. And likewise, the sort of ribbons are in that same section. Things like the passions, yeah, they say take sort of a handful or sort of 3 or so of them. And then other things like the fabric are unlimited quantities. So you just, yeah, as I mentioned, show them what you've got at the end and you pay for what you've got there. And I got these fabulous vintage passions, which I think are probably, this would probably be, I think, from the 60s or 70s, given the flares. Size 8, and even if the parts have been used inside, I find they're really fabulous to use in paper crafts or junk journals, or even for wrapping things up, because you can paste them down and they're actually sort of translucent, so you can see through them. And these packets make a great pocket or a card or a cover for a book. So I always make sure I pick up a few patterns from their vintage packs when I go there. I'll pop those over there. I also got a random bag that was just sitting off on the side. I didn't even get the chance to look through everything. I'm sure there was more treasures to be found, but I felt like I had my decent bag by the time I finished up, and definitely well worth $10. I think worth a lot more. So beautiful little stamens that I can use as the centre of flowers. Some white flowers. These aren't vintage pieces, not like the vintage flowers, fabric flowers I found at my recent op shopping in regional Victoria, but they are great to add into your slow stitch or other craft pieces. Many of us are doing the Roxy Journal Stitchery down the garden path at the moment, so they'll be great for that. Now on my surface here, I've got 2 Hessian sacks, and they're actually sacks that are used, let's take the label off. So they contain juniper berries, 20 kilos from Macedonian juniper berries, and they're used by Four Pillars Distillery here in Healesville. So the Healesville is just a ways up the road. So they're very big. I can't even get them all on camera. If I fold it, I'll show you what a quarter of it is in size. So that's a quarter of it there. They're in great condition. I did peer in one and there were even some little juniper berries still bouncing around in there. So I'll have to give them a good shake out. I'll have to check that juniper berries aren't poisonous to the dog, or otherwise I'll shake them up down in the veggie patch where, which is out of bounds for him. But yeah, I'm thinking these would make a great base fabric for if I was adding a whole lot of my down the garden path panels, possibly in a more sort of vertical, and then filling in with fabric in between, or otherwise just cutting small sections of it to use as well. It's absolutely fabulous, and I love the line, the pink lines on it, and as you can see from this one down here, it's also got Beacon Commodities, and it's got a green and yellow line as well, and a little picture down there. So that is super exciting to get some sacks. So I got 2 of those. And then this I'm also super excited about. It's amazing what I can get super excited about. It is a compressed felt. And I know a lot of the ladies have recently been buying the felt mats from, I think someone said they saw them in Spotlight, but others have been buying them online, and they can be quite expensive. They're great because you can stick your needles into them, but they protect your work surface, and they're just a nice neutral colour. So I actually got 2 of these. Again, they were unlimited quantities, but I only needed 2. And those will go together on my craft desk like, oops, and I just banged the camera, like that, and they will be absolutely fantastic. So I'll pop those up there as our screening. I was also lucky enough to pick up a unstarted stitchery that was originally $13.95 from Forges. I think we used to have the store called Dimian Forges, or maybe Forges was before it became Dimian Forges. And so it's got all of the embroidery wool and this beautiful design with daisies, other little flowers, and then hills and a little house in the background. So it's called Daisy Field. And what else can we see about it? It was made in the USA. And it looks, yeah, based on that label, I don't think we've had a store called Forges for a while, but that would have been quite expensive probably at the time that someone bought it, but then never proceeded to use it. Also got this pack. I might end up giving this actually to my niece before she goes home and see if she wants this for her wall. It's got 48 pieces of very decent sized instant decor set for walls, doors and furniture. I was figuring even if they weren't that sticky, I could still use them in journals or cards or other things. So that's a bit of fun. Now, what else will I show you before I get into the fabrics? They had a huge bucket, huge like industrial sized bucket of these bags, which probably were for a conference or something. But I really liked the mosaic design, which is printed on the front. And what I was thinking is I could add some further scrap pieces around them and use them potentially for my Christmas packages for family and friends where I bake up a whole lot of goodies, and then it's nice to have a bag to put them in. So I'm going to turn it over and show you what's on the back. So it's just got all the, yeah, for a conference 2023. So it was actually quite a recent conference. So they've obviously come in quite recently. And so I can probably, again, just do some patchwork or stitchery on the back as well. So that can be, I can even possibly personalise it with the initials of who they're for. So I'll just roll those up. But lovely calico, even if you were just using the inside of it as your stitching calico. Really, really great. And everyone can always use a bag, I am sure. Then I got this other huge piece, massive piece of fabric. Now it's a composite of, it's got the sample details on it, cotton, metal, 34% metal, so that's why it's sort of got that sheen to it, and 25% polyester. Sorry, and you can't see the label. And it's from Switzerland, which is really interesting, and it says vintage. This fabric is reversible. Maybe the design is vintage, because I don't think the fabric would be vintage. I'm assuming it's actually something that's been produced because it's on its sort of sample hanger, but normally they're not this huge. Like, this is an entire, almost like a curtain-sized piece of fabric, but I thought the texture and the way that it was sort of translucent would be really great for creating background, and I'm going to have a go and see if it also dyes up or colours up, for example with watercolour paint, because then I can change it into all sorts of different backgrounds. They also had some big linen pieces like this, which I was really thinking I probably should have got those as well, but there was only like 3 or 4 hanging up, so I thought I shouldn't be greedy. I'll see if someone else wants those, but then perhaps if they're still there when I go back next time, I will get those. So there's that one there. As you can see, a lot of fabric in that. Even that fabric alone would be selling for $10, I'm sure. I'm just going to have another sip of tea. So then let's move down our pile of the fabrics. So I'm just going to pull myself back in the chair. There's a plane going overhead, so I'm not sure if you can hear that. So this was a fun piece, which would have probably been a sample piece for a scarf. So it's got its tassels on the end, and it's blue. And as you can see, it's blue on one side and then grey on the other. And it feels like almost like a felt. It does fray a little bit more than a felt would, so it's not felted. It is woven. And it's got a combination of, I think, acrylics, polyester, wool, and other. I'm learning to discern all the different codes that are listed. So that's that one. Oh, and I'll actually show you what I do with these. I used to hang them up in my cupboard using the hangers. I tend to now just take them off of their cardboard and then just fold them up in some plastic tubs, just because I'm kind of needing that closet space to be able to, yeah, stack the tubs in. And it also just keeps them a bit sort of, not safer, just sort of secure from dust and everything else. Do you ever find when you do your videos, you just kind of lose your words? You have your words in the rest of the day, and then you try and do a video and you're just like, what's that word? What's that thing that I'm wanting? Anyway, I usually try and keep my, I'm just going to grab my bag actually, so that I don't end up with staples. Just keep a rubbish bag nearby to be able to, sorry, that's just me dragging another chair over. And I just use my little staple remover, which comes in incredibly handy. So with this, I'd just fold each of the pieces. Probably fold one with its blue side, and then this one I might fold with its grey side, and then I can keep them in my two different colour-coded piles. Before we actually get into the other fabrics, I also got this square of carpet that is all, it's got its proper edging all around it, so it's not a sort of an off-cut, but it is a sample piece. And this one is actually New Zealand wool and silk, a 10 millimeter pile. And originally I hadn't actually seen those other felt bits, and I thought, oh, this would be great to put on my surface, and I may still even put it over those felt pieces because it feels so lovely. Otherwise I could put it under my desk as a nice place to put my feet and keep the carpet protected. So that was a great find as well. So let's have a look what else we've got. We've got this great padded, like what they make those parkas and other things out of, padded fabric. I used it recently in one of my pieces where I was making the hedge that sort of sat out from the scene behind it with the little Peter rabbits in it. and it was really great because it gave me that sort of that loft. I've also used it just for the stuffing purpose alone, so it's great for that. Or you could even make it your own little lap warmer. Just get a couple of these and sew them together, put a little bit of edging on them, and you'd have your own little lap blanket. Put that over there. Sorry, they sometimes like to go riding their not their mountain bikes, they're not electric bikes, even motorbikes around here. They tend to just do the big lap around up to the dirt road and then come around again, so we might hear them again. And then, yeah, these ones are from Italy, so lovely Italian fabrics, and these are all these sample pieces, all different colours along the top, which gives you great variety. And then it's just got a larger piece of this black and white woven fabric. Let's pull them up a bit so you can see them a bit better. This one's got 3 pieces of fabric with lovely ropey designs on it. This one's got, almost looks like animal fur, but it's a very thin, I think it does definitely have a synthetic in it. It says vegan, so European Vegetarian Union. That's another one. Where's that made? That's made in Turkey. So I've had other Turkish fabrics as well. This one also Turkish, and it's a lovely, it's got just a slight see-throughness to it in that yellow areas. And there's 3 different daisy type designs. So as you can see, yeah, nice see-throughness, but very decent length of it. This one's a fun. This one again is a synthetic, but it's got beautiful little pleats in it, and so there's all 5 different colours there, which I thought could be fun if you wanted to make like some little curtains on a window or some curtains on a little theatre scene. So always good to have some of those more novelty type fabrics. This one feels like a lovely cotton linen. It's, I think, a couple of layers actually sewn together and almost got that quilty look to it. So that would be lovely for backgrounds as well. These ones are from Turkey as well. There's some smaller samples along the top, and then some samples here, and then a larger piece here. And I've been using these ones just cut down slightly as the pieces of backing for my Roxy Journal of Stitchery panel pieces, because I find they give a robustness, and if I'm stitching through them, I don't find my fabrics then shrink in on themselves. Here we've got a fun star design. I'm just going to try and pull my fabrics up a little bit so you can see them. So again, this would be a synthetic because it's got quite a bit of shine, but it's, yeah, lovely, and I thought could be something nice around Christmas time, which will come around quickly again. This one is a viscose with beautiful, almost like tie-dye sort of style lines down it. So there's 2 smaller pieces and then a larger piece there. This one has interesting abstract but also pictorial pictures on it. So it's got some giraffes. Not sure, is that a lion? Not sure. So I thought that could be kind of fun. Oh, and got words written like hippopotamus. I guess it's a sort of a African safari, and I guess, yeah, those are parts of zebra, etc. So that's nice, having been to Werribee Open Range Zoo this week. And then we've got this one. So there goes the motorbike again, with beautiful patterns on it, and again just coordinating colours together with the same pattern. This one is very very bright. It's a paisley type design, and it's got a real glisten to the surface, so that's definitely got, it's viscose and polyamide. There we go. All the fun of filming outside where you hear the bikes going around. Sounds like he's going to come around again just for a bit of fun. School holidays, I guess. The kids are out on their trail bikes. I'm not sure they're meant to be on the roads unless they're actually registered, but as long as they stay safe, I think that's the main thing. And so this has got beautiful flowers on it. That one's a more intense flower design. Might just angle you down a bit, might just give you a better view. bring you back a little bit. Keeping my mouth nice and close. I'm hoping those that sometimes struggle to hear, hopefully this is a bit better for you to hear. And then it's got some, I guess, abstract, where they've probably dragged the design out and made some abstract lines. Then we get into our beautiful Italian, both cottons and linens. This is 100% cotton, and it's got a lovely square design, and then it's got all these smaller samples up the top. And we've got some lovely stripes, again with the sample pieces, just some block colours with a nice white with sort of shot through, and this is 37% linen, 63% cotton. And then there goes the bug again. We've got checks here, more stripes, we've got more stripes in lovely sort of gelati colours, and checks, more stripes, and again just very decent sized bigger pieces, but even the little pieces are great for when you're doing slow stitching. You don't actually need big pieces there. Not sure what that is, I'll just get rid of that bit of plastic. This one's 100% cotton, and it's got just a really fine little woven check on it. These ones, which if you saw my recent, I used some of these in my flags that I made for the Easter table, but also in my little fabric box, which I'm still working on, and think I need to probably put some cardboard in to make the edges stable. I may actually even be able to use some of the cardboard when I remove these from their hangers. Then we've got 100% linen, so just so nice to have linen, and there's 3 pieces of linen here. So just amazing, and just such lovely, lovely fabric. Italian, you just can't beat it. So I really like when I find these Carlo Bassetti ones there. They just have big racks of them. Some of them are in bins as well, and you just have to hunt through. But now I kind of know what I'm after when I go there, what I've used and what I'm going to get more of. And then some lovely lines again. This one's a 100% cotton. This one's a really thin cotton with, again, just beautiful gelati type colours up the top as the extra samples. This one again, very fine, 100% cotton, and just beautiful, beautiful colours. And again, another different blue down the bottom, but the same sort of, but these ones just have lines. The other had an almost very faint check through it. A more checky fabric, again 100% cotton. These ones have a lot of little samples up the top, so got lines and checks, and then lines and checks, so combo, and then a big piece underneath, and that's 100% cotton. These ones are 100% linen, so nice big piece, and then some smaller sample pieces. And then we've got these ones here, all those different colours along there. And that one was 100% cotton, and then this is another 100% cotton. And then we've got some more of those felty type pieces, which I like to use as the backing for my slow stitch. This has just got bits of scrap fabric stuck to it. We'll just let the bite go by. Not sure how many times he'll go round. Always the way though if you do film. And we've got this black felt fabric. These ones come from Turkey, nice green, great for the garden scenes. This one's got a maroni burgundy one with some smaller pieces. Again, the red's good for Christmassy, or is that a red or an orange? No, I think it's pretty red. And some more neutral browny colours, good for fields. Another blacky colour, and a greeny khaki colour. So that, and this one's got some little extra samples on it. So that completes the goodies from my $10 bag of deliciousness from the Reverse Art Truck. So if you are in Victoria, you should definitely check it out. There's plenty to go around. And there's always new things coming in, as you can see, like with those calico bags, the Hessian bags. I hadn't seen them there before. I don't let myself go there every week because I'd probably end up with too much stuff. But once I take all of these off their hangers, they'll go down quite well into a plastic tub, and I sort them usually into colour themes, or with these felt ones I'll keep them all together because they have a particular purpose that I like to use them for in my stitching. I'll probably put them in my felt tub because they're similar to felt, but then the other ones might get sorted into stripes and checks, and then into colour zones for... I didn't actually get that many of florals or anything today. I was really, sort of restashing up with some of the other stripes and things that I had used. Plus some of those fun feature fabrics which I'll sort into their dominant colour. So I hope you're all doing well, and you'll be viewing this on Thursday for Thrifty Thursday, even though I'm filming this on Friday because I'm on leave this week, so it was a perfect chance to go on a Friday to the Reverse Art Truck because our local one is only open on a Friday and a Saturday. So take care everyone, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.